Okay, this is a video on how to rip songs from CD onto your laptop and then transfer them onto USB sticks so you can play them out on WCR's players. Firstly, by the way, ignore this OBS down the bottom. That's just the software I'm using to record this video, so you can totally disregard that. So as you've got two shows, Wednesday and Friday, there are two USB sticks. Wednesday, which has got the black ribbon on it attached to it, and Friday, which has got the white ribbon attached to it. And indeed, when you plug in USB sticks to your laptop, it will say either Wednesday or Friday, just to make it completely clear. And what you're aiming for each time is a fresh start for each program. So like I say, one show per USB stick. You don't want to do multiple shows on one stick. You'll end up with hundreds of songs and you'll be scrolling through for ages. So say it's a Friday night, you've done your Wednesday and Friday shows for this week, and you want to prepare the Wednesday show for next week. What you would do firstly is put in the USB stick in the laptop, like that. Again, you can't see me doing this, but you can just see the screen, but I am doing that. And then the stick will pop up. So these are the songs you've played from this week. And you want to get rid of all of these because they're old news, you've already played them. As you can see up here, by the way, it says Wednesday, just to make it very clear. So these are old news, and with this white space here, we need to click using the left mouse button, hold that click down, drag and select the whole lot, press the bin icon, delete, click on that. Are you sure you want to delete these? Hit yes, and then you've got this folder is empty, so you've got a blank USB stick all ready to go for another program. So we can close this down for now because we don't need it again quite yet. What we do need is to double click on Audio Grabber, and that will load up, and this is what you're using to rip the songs from CD onto your laptop. At the moment, the CD drive is not ready. Well, that's because I haven't put a CD in. So I'm going to open up the CD drive now. And I'm going to put in Rachel Stevens' Funky Dory. Meat Legs would like that. So I'm going to put that into the CD drive, give it a little bit of time, and that will load up in Audio Grabber. And there it is. It's got the song titles down here as well. Now at this stage, sometimes you may get a little screen that pops up that says multiple matches found. It's where people have submitted the same CD to the database of song titles. Maybe it's an international version. You'll just have to take your best guess on that. It is one of those quirks of doing it. So it hasn't popped up here, but with some CDs you may get a little screen, and then just click on the album name that best matches the one you've got. Sometimes as well, and it's not too often, but sometimes the song titles won't appear here at all. If that does happen to be the case, click on the penguin icon and it will refresh the songs. Maybe click it 2 or 3 times. It might refresh the songs. You may still get no title down here, and then you'll just have to put the titles in manually, which is what we'll get onto a bit later on. What you can also do in Audio Grabber is, before you rip it in, say you haven't heard Some Girls for quite some time, you've forgotten how it goes, or you just want to preview it, you can do just that. You can preview the song. So click on the song title once, and then down here you've got the audio player. Hit play. And that's Some Girls playing before you rip it in. Same deal with Funky Dory. Click on the song title, hit play. And what you can also do is click and hold the click on this slider down here, and you can skip across the track, much like you would do on a normal CD or a record when you're moving the needle across. So click and hold the click on the slider, drag it across if you want to hear the end, for example. There we are, and you can just skip through it before you put it in. Very basic controls down here: play, pause, stop, and a few others, but generally you're just going to be using play and stop. But let's say we've made our selection, so I want to rip in Some Girls and Funky Dory. We click the tick boxes here, as you can see, and then press grab. Now I'm going to do this in real time, so we're going to have to wait a minute or so for these songs to rip in. Time will vary. Depends how many songs you're doing, the condition of the CD as well. And you can see at the top here it's saying copying 1 of 2 currently on Some Girls. It'll then move on to Funky Dory, and you can probably hear the CD drive whirring away in the background as well. Almost there. Once it's done, that pop-up screen will disappear as you've just seen, and it'll say for the 2 songs in this case we've copied, it says copied OK, same down here, copied OK. Ignore the checksum gobbledygook, it's just the OK bit just to confirm it's gone in. Which is great, so those songs have been ripped into the laptop. I will mention at this point as well, what Audio Grabber is also doing is if there's any silence at the start of a song, it will remove pretty much all of that, which is quite useful, and it will do what's called normalizing as well. So it will bring your songs up to more or less the same level. It's not bulletproof, but that's quite useful to have more or less the same audio level in a radio environment. So we've done that CD, we're now going to eject that from the drive and put it back in the case, and we're going to do a couple more CDs. Next one I got here is Now 100 Hits Party, so a compilation. So I'm going to put that into the drive, give it a little bit of time, and Audio Grabber will refresh the CD you've put in. And there it is. If it doesn't refresh, by the way, you can just click on the refresh icon there, and away you go. So let's say you want to preview Pharrell Williams Happy. Click on Farrell, however, don't know how he's pronounced. You can hit play. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Skip through it if you want. Press stop. That sounds funky. We'll have that. We'll click on the tick box, and then we'll press grab, and that will rip it in to the laptop. And it's up to you. For some CDs you might just want 1 track, you may want 5, you might want the whole lot. Just work through the tick boxes there. Again, there's no limit, it's completely up to you. So the screen, that pop-up screen has gone, copied OK, fantastic. I'm going to eject that CD and I'm going to do one more. So put that back in the case. I'm just doing a few CDs here. For example, you might have lots of CDs you want to rip in. So the next one I'm going to do is Now, that's what I call 80s Party, which is another compilation CD. Eventually that will refresh. If it doesn't, you've got the refresh button there. Lovely. So let's pick the Bangles Walk Like an Egyptian. Click on the tick box, press grab. That's the final one we want to rip in during this session. I've picked this CD because it has an interesting thing about song titles, which we'll get onto next. All done, copied OK. So I'm going to eject that CD, put it back in the case, and we're done ripping in CDs. Close the CD drive, and what we can do is close Audio Grabber as well. all the ripped songs go into this folder here on the desktop. Double click on ripped music. And as time goes by, you're going to have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of songs. It says at the bottom left of the folder 25. These are just the ones that I've been playing around with, and a few I've just ripped in as well. What you can do is they're currently sorted alphabetically. If you want, you can click on date created. And these are the songs we've just put in. That's particularly useful when you do get a lot of tracks, because most of the time I suspect you're just going to be wanting to transfer the newer songs you ripped in onto USB. You might have a mixture of existing ones as well. So if you click date created, these are all the ones that we've ripped in, or click name and you're back to alphabetical again. So I'm going to do date created because I want to see the recent ones. And in fact, there's a couple of things to mention here. What you're after on song naming the actual song files is artist, song title. So Sugababes, About You Now, Little Mix, Black Magic, Tina Turner, Steamy Windows. For some reason, Audio Grabber here has put Randy Crawford all in capitals. Not the end of the world, but if you want to rename that to proper English, you can. The song title is perfectly formatted. So again, that does happen. At the top here, now this is why I did the 80s, that Now compilation, because it's labelled it as various artists, Walk Like an Egyptian, the Bangles. That's pretty useless when you're trying to look at that on the drives at WCR. So some of these you will have to rename and do it manually. It is a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's one of those quirks. To do that, get the offending file, right click on it, left click on show more options, left click on rename, as you would do to rename any file. What I'm going to do here is select this various artists, remove that. I'm going to type in the Bangles, space, dash, space, and it's a little dash by the way towards the top of the keyboard. I'm then going to remove the Bangles, and there we are. So we got the Bangles, Walk Like an Egyptian. That matches the other formatting, for example, Tina Turner, Steamy Windows, Tony Braxton, Let It Flow, artist, song title, and it's much easier to have your music library labelled up that way. It's so simplistic. Next phase is to actually copy this stuff onto your USB drive, because this is stored on your computer under ripped music. So what we need to do now is we've left the USB stick plugged in from earlier, double click on this PC, there it is, there's your Wednesday USB stick, double click on that, which is blank because we deleted everything from that earlier, and then select the songs you want. Now if you just want the 4 that I've ripped in, you've got the blank space here, left mouse click, hold that click down, select the songs you want, and then you want to drag these using the left mouse button, hold that click down, drag it across to Wednesday down here, that will pop up, and those songs will copy over. And you've got those 4 songs on Wednesday's USB stick. You'll have 40, 50, whatever songs, but just as an example. Say you want to do some other ones as well, so let's get them back alphabetical. So we click on name, and let's say we also want Dolly Parton. Click on that, left click, hold it down, drag it across to Wednesday, and that's copied it into, same with Tony Braxton, let's do that. We want to copy that in there, I want to play some of hers. And let's have Fast Car by Tracy Chapman as well. And that will copy it over. Once you have copied all your songs from the computer to the USB stick, you can just close that down. The last step is optional. I've put this on here because it is quite useful, and that's File List Creator. Double click on that. And what this will do is we'll create a running order of what's on your USB stick, and you can print that off. So that means you've got an at-a-glance view of what's on there. What you could do is put it into WCR's players and you could scroll through, but it's not exactly great that. So what we're going to do here is click on the Add Files button. And then we're going to go into Wednesday. And in reality, you have a load of files again. These are just some example ones, but you want to select all of them. Same deal. white space, left click, hold it down, drag everything that's in there, hit open, and then you'll see a bunch of gobbledygook down here. Go to the bottom right and press save. And you can call the file what you want, but this is the default file list. I'm saving this on the desktop, and you can save it wherever you want, and then press save. And it'll automatically pop up with all the files you've got on your USB stick. What you can then do is these three dots here, click on them, press print. Clearly make sure you've got the right printer selected, which is in this case is the HP one, and then print it off. I'm not going to do that in this case because there's no point, but then you can print off all the songs you've got on the USB stick. Bear in mind, if you do change your mind last minute, if you add more songs onto the USB stick, you're going to have to repeat this file list creator step again, because your printed hard copy will be different from what's on the USB sticks. Just keep that in mind if you make some last minute changes, or if you remove some files, you think, oh hang on, that was on there, it's on the hard copy but it's not on the list. Oh yes, I removed it from the USB drive. That's it. So we can come out of that, we can come out of that as well, and we're all done. Now I've stored that file list here on the desktop, but like I say, you can call it whatever you want. You can put it in My Documents. Generally, if you've got a hard copy, I know you're going to be putting it into your file anyway, so I'm just going to delete this and keep the desktop nice and free. And then once we've done the Wednesday show, we can move on to Friday. So I'm going to take out the USB stick here. I'm going to put in the stick with the white ribbon on. That will pop up. It's already empty, just an example again, but there's the Friday USB stick. What you would normally have is lots of songs on there. Clear them off and repeat the whole process again. And there you go.